Welcome back to more playoff action from the United States Chess League. This is FM Mike Klein reporting. A pair of teams have qualified for their first ever United States Chess League finals. The Philadelphia Inventors, one of the league's original 8 teams, and the Seattle Sluggers, who came in only 1 year later, will battle it out in a little more than a week's time to see who will be champion of the 8th season of the USCL. Philadelphia was looking to exorcise the demons of a year ago, and they found themselves in remarkably similar circumstances. They earned the first seed in the Eastern Division playoffs in 2011 and again here in 2012, and like last year, the Manhattan Applesauce were all that stood between them and advancement. Last year, Manhattan upset Philly in the opening round, but this year the Inventors captured the pennant without any trouble. The lack of drama came courtesy of FM's Tom Bartel and Dov Gorman, who both won at almost exactly the same time. The 2-0 lead clinched the match thanks to Philadelphia's draw odds, meaning Grandmaster Sergei Ehrenberg and International Master Richard Costigan, who both could have pressed more for the win, were content to end their games drawn. Bartel took out his third titled player in 3 weeks, and enacted revenge for his Week 7 loss to International Master Eli Vavsha. Black made the aggressive decision to open the F-file, but cede control of E5, a decision that he would later regret. After a couple of repositioning moves, Vavsha inexplicably nudged his rook forward, allowing the elementary tactic knight e5, hitting the rook and discover attacking the bishop on e4. Black cannot solve his problems with knight takes e5, since d takes e5 makes a second discovery. Then after queen c6, bishop b4 is a third discovery in a row. Vavsha chose to offer the exchange, but Bartel had no trouble consolidating. Gorman made some aggressive overtures early in his game against National Master Andrew Schwartzman. His pawns were faster in the opposite side's castling position, but his advantage really took hold after 25 knight d5. By exchanging bishop for knight, Gorman's last minor piece reigned supreme over the center of the board. He then punctured the white king's safety and traversed his queen onto the long diagonal. After rook takes g4, discoveries don't work just yet due to the defense bishop to e4, so Gorman played the intermezzo f5 to rebut that defense. White gave up a piece, but after queen takes f5, rook f4 doesn't get the piece back due to queen takes c2 and the threat of checkmate on g2. A few moves later, Gorman's knight ended the game on a fork. The final score was 3-1 for Philly. This is the second straight year that the Applesauce have had their playoff dreams end in the semifinals. The Western Division was much more of a cliffhanger. Third-seeded Arizona and fourth-seeded Seattle went toe-to-toe, with the Scorpions only needing 2 out of 4 to advance. The match began with a dominating performance by Seattle's assistant manager, National Master Joshua Sinanen. Upsets have been a weekly feature in the USCL this season, but Sinanen won so quickly and seemingly effortlessly against last week's hero, International Master Shaheen Mohandesi, that their game ended before any of the matches in the Eastern Division ended, and those matches began an hour earlier. Sinanen was a real terror with the white pieces this year, and in fact only played white in his 7 regular season matches, winning 5 and never finishing with a draw. This may explain why Seattle chose whites on boards 1 and 3. Sinanen played a straightforward game, and amazingly, from move 8 until move 32, he only moved pieces to squares on the queen side. After obtaining a majority over there, Mohandesi played passively, while white developed normally and prepared the advance of the b-pawn. When it finally pushed forward on move 26, the defense knight c7 is refuted succinctly by queen b7, queen takes b5, knight e6 check, forking the king and queen. Sinanen's pawn kept coming, and Black's king kept being in the way. White won a piece and finished off the win with knight e5 check, his first move to the king's side in 26 moves. From there, International Master Georgi Orlov held an unenviable position against International Master Levan Altunian, but on board 1, Grandmaster Varuzhin Akobian got his team to the necessary 2.5 points by pouncing on a rare error by International Master Mackenzie Molnar. Everything was still to play for until 32 rook d2, when the Zwischenzug rook c6 forces Black to relinquish control of f4. After queen takes f4, the black rooks can't communicate with each other. Although black got almost the full rook back a few moves later, the 2700 opponent had no trouble winning with his two healthy extra pawns. Like Sinanen, Akobian has dominated playing mostly with white this year, which will surely be a factor when Philadelphia chooses colors for the final. The inventors get that right by virtue of having the better regular season record, but neither team gets draw odds in this match. If tied 2-2, they'll go to tie breaks. There was a little extra meaning to the match this week, as the Sluggers have decided to dedicate their season to the late Elena Donaldson, the longtime chess player, teacher, and wife of Georgy Orlov. The league sends its condolences to Georgy and the team. Philadelphia and Seattle will have a little longer to prepare than usual. The finals are set for Saturday, December 1st at 4 p.m. Eastern. So tune in then to see which team will be crowned USCL champion for the first time. Until then, we'd like to thank our sponsors, PokerStars, the ICC, and Chess.com.